Okay, in my opinion, this is the most difficult part of the drawing because the shape of the shadow is so vague. The trick to big areas of shadow like this is to define where its edges are and treat it like a solid shape. Let's handle it together one step at a time. I've defined the edge of the shape for you with this red line in the photo reference so you can see what I mean. Do your best to ignore the eyelashes and just draw the outside shape of the shadow. Let's break the shape up even more. In your mind, use the axis line to split the shadow up into two pieces, so that you're seeing it as two smaller, more manageable shapes, one below the line and one above the line. Let's begin above the line. Do your best to look for the angle of the upper eyelid. Don't worry if it's not perfect, we're still in the sketch stage, so just put a line in to start with. Please keep in mind in this course I'm catering to a very broad spectrum of learning styles. I'm doing my best to come up with visual cues for the different ways people see to get it to click for everyone. Some people have an easier time seeing shapes in the negative space, some prefer to look for outlines. Some people have an easier time seeing shapes in positive space, so I'm trying different approaches in each lesson. Close enough. Now look at the angle of my axis line and look at the angle of the lower eyelid. They're almost perfectly parallel. So just draw that in across the bottom. Don't even draw the curve in for now, just a straight line. Establish the outline of the overall shape and everything else will start to fit into place. I'll just take a measurement to make sure it's all the right length. Make sure the fold of the eyelid continues to that point, and the eyebrow should line up directly above it. Use its relationship to the axis line to help you place it, and give yourself a mark. Once you've established that, move to the left side and determine where the eyebrow begins. You should be able to triangulate it based on its distance from the axis line and its distance from the shape of the eye, and give yourself a mark. Next, draw on the bottom eyelash, then follow its curve up to the eyebrow. Use that flow to help you determine the curve of the eyebrow. If it helps, draw the curve right onto your photo reference. Drawing on the photograph is an easy trick to help you isolate and simplify the shape. Once you get the top of the curve in, just make a straight line connecting it to your first mark, like connect the dots. You know how to use mistakes to help you make corrections now, so don't be afraid to make them. And once that's in, use the distance from the top of the eyelid to the bottom of the eyebrow to show you where the bottom outline of the eyebrow should go. It's a sketch, so don't be afraid to make adjustments to your line once it's in. As you know, the more information you have in, the more you'll have to go by to make judgments. And you have to start somewhere. Now just find this curve and the outline of your eyebrow is finished. Let's begin drawing the iris and pupil next. Start on this side because you know it lines up with the curve of the eyebrow. I'm just shaping the bottom eyelid a little more. Notice the iris doesn't go beneath the bottom eyelid, so you're going to have to keep the lines of the iris and the bottom eyelid parallel. To finish the iris, just continue the shape, but notice it's not a circle, it's an oval, so do your best to get that shape at that angle. Once you have the iris in, you can draw the pupil, which is going to be at the same angle and shape, just smaller. Then all you have to do is place the highlight. Remember to find its location using the axis line. It should be sitting right on it. Look at the distance from the top of the pupil to the eyelid. Make sure you keep that distance, and use the distance from the pupil to the edge of the iris to help you make it the right size. That's what sketching is. You have to constantly be looking for relative distances and landmarks to help you make every judgment. Follow the flow from the eyebrow to help you determine where the shading on the edge of the nose should go. Try to judge this distance. Looks like my line could be even further out. And I'll just clean this up with my rubber eraser. That's good for now. We just need a simple line drawing. Any more than that would be a waste of time at this point.